Hey, my wonderful people, a pleasant morning to you. You know, I don't even know how we have gotten here as a people. And I think something has gone wrong with us. I remember some years ago, both the Observer and the Gleaner, back to back, if one came out on the Saturday, the other came on the Sunday, or if one came on the Sunday, one came on the Monday, where it says 40% of and more people are suffering from some mental challenge, difficulty, and both newspaper basically said the same thing. And years later, a similar thing came out where the numbers were increased in terms of the percentages and so on. And I said to myself, this has to be true, because when I scroll our Jamaican TikTok, and I'm talking in terms of the TikTokers and so on, and other social media platforms, and what I see they do, how they are, my God, it's beyond a shame and a disgrace in terms of the humiliation, the embarrassment, the lack of loyalty and devotion. You know what loyalty and devotion is saying, which people don't understand? It is saying that even if we are no longer on good terms, we are no longer friends, whatever we had shared between each other, among each other, if it is more than two people, it will never be discussed and never be used as a weapon against the other individual. Never. I will hold that dear to my heart. That is what loyalty, and people do not have loyalty, commitment, devotion, and love for their friends. Women, you have to be very careful of the men that you get involved with romantically or even in a platonic sense. Because when the rubber meets the road and you can't fulfill whatever need they have, or they think you can fulfill, dog, eat your supper, your breakfast and your lunch, when they start to unravel and disgrace and humiliate you. When I see men do this comfortably these days, I am shocked. Men are supposed to be protectors and providers. And when you see, I'm scrolling TikTok and see a man totally, I don't even know how he's comfortable in doing it. It doesn't matter if he has reason to. None of us have reason to be unforgiving to anybody, even if we may think that we have a reason to. Unforgiveness is just wrong, simple, humiliating. You see the fruits of the unholy spirit being treated as though they're dealing with the fruits of the Holy Spirit. How can you think that humiliating and embarrassing people, men embarrassing women, women embarrassing men, speaking about personal things that should have been kept right there between the two, are now being shared among others as breakfast, as lunch, and as dinner, and people are partaking in the meal, and it's not Lord's Supper. It is not the Lord's Supper. My God, it's like people have to be fearful in who they get involved with, whether in a platonic sense or romantic. It is a shame and a disgrace. It is a shame and a disgrace when you're scrolling TikTok in particular. Not just TikTok, the other social media platforms. And the reason why I'm using TikTok, because, I guess that's the number one app right now in terms of, how people are using it. And they have no qualms in disgracing, humiliating, outing people who were once their friends, who were once their lovers. My God. Like, you wonder to yourself, how do they do it? How do they live with themselves? Don't they understand that these things are going to come up one day again, and they're going to have regrets, and they're going to wish they could take it off, and they can't, and the pain of regret is going to be worse than the pain of I should not have done it, no matter how I'm angry. So the pain of regret is going to be far worse than the pain of the anger that they felt initially. Meaning you might feel angry. Like today I felt so angry. I was so angry about something. And I said, God, I know I'm extremely angry. Super, super, super angry. But I'm going to try and use a little emotional intelligence and not do something that, the devil I try pinch me and I tell me if you do. He might whisper to me and say, go do this. I said, I'm not going to do it. No. I have to know who I am. Kind of did vent, to God and so forth, because, I'm human. But I said, no, I'm not going to do. I'm not, I had to still say no. And that is what you do. It's like a sense of, and although it's me, I had to employ loyalty, commitment, and devotion to God. That's what I had to employ, because apparently I fired it and I had to re-employ it. I had to employ it again. And there are moments you may fire loyalty, commitment, devotion, and love and forgiveness, and you have to re-employ them on frequent basis. We may just need to hire them permanently, which that is what I'm really trying to say. And people no longer have that. There are people, you will see them bosom buddies and make the wrong thing happen. You cannot believe it's the same 2 people or 3 or 4, how many people were bosom buddies. Loyalty has to be tested in adversity. I can only know that you're loyal to me when bad times happen and what you do in front of me and behind me. That's the only way I'll know that you're loyal and devoted is a deeper step than loyalty now. I'm committed to the friendship, meaning even if we're no longer friends, what we share with each other now, between each other, if it's just 2, if it's more than 2, stays with me until death do us part. Yes, you hurt me, yes, but I will never, there are people who, they have done me real wrong, and I could never get up and start a broadcast at all over the world that they have done this or do this. If people come and say, sometimes people don't even know that something has gone on. You keep that. You keep that to yourself. Because the pain of the anger is less than the pain of the hurt, and the anger is far less than the pain of regret. The pain of the hurt and the anger that you feel within is far less, and will wane in comparison to the pain of regret. Sometimes the pain of regret never leaves, and it spills over into the next generation, and your children and grandchildren suffers because of consequences of your own actions. How can people feel comfortable not being loyal, committed, devoted, and loving towards their friends and lovers and whomever? When you were watching TikTok now, you shudder. You said, this cannot be real. It makes you not want to mix and mingle with people, because you said this is beyond evil, and they're even commercializing it where they make money from it too. Humiliating people can damage people's lives, their reputation, their character, demolish them, and they don't have any qualms. Men, you see men doing it. Men who God made to be providers and protectors are now shaming women, embarrassing and humiliating, not thinking about the future and how it will affect them. And you have women supporting it. And I've often said, women, when you do that, what you're telling the man is, your turn next. That's what you're really telling him, because it's going to be your turn next. And you're going to be so embarrassed and humiliated to know that you supported wrongdoing. It doesn't matter if even the woman wronged the man. 2 wrongs cannot make a right. It's like me putting on to having 2 pairs and having a pair of shoes, and both are left or both are right. No matter what I do, you won't have that symbiotic flow, because it's 2 right feet or 2 left feet. It's not going to fit one of my foot, or one of my feet rather. It's not going to fit a foot. It won't fit one of my feet. Trying with a little English language. TikTok is a shame and disgrace, and it's commercialized, so you can earn a lot of money tearing anybody to shreds, demolishing them, saying all manner of evil against them, falsely even if it is true. It's slander. It would be called slanderous, and that is the order of the day now. But God's judgment is upon those people. They don't understand that. God's judgment is certainly upon them. May God help them. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok on YouTube, subscribe, and I need a lion.